Hey, this is Raul for Bass Musician Magazine. We're here at Namm 2014, and I've got the great pleasure of sitting here with my good friend Jon Liebman. So Jon, tell me, what have you got coming up here for the next coming year?
First of all, Raul, the great pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me here. It's great what you do, and thank you for letting me be a part of it. As you know, in 2009, I launched a website called ForBassPlayersOnly.com, and I've interviewed a couple hundred bass players there, and the site has really taken off with the interviews and the reviews and the news every day and the features and the store. And in 2013, I launched a second website that I'm particularly excited about, and that's called JonLiebman.com. And the main thing with that website is the online video instruction library. So it's subscription based, so people have available to them my entire video library, unlimited access to my whole video library for bass instruction. I thought that after selling, I have 6 books that I've written for Hal Leonard Corporation on bass, and after selling 100,000 books, I wanted to try something else. I wanted to venture into the online foray, and the categories that I chose, by the way, they're all completely different from my books. There's nothing that's duplicated, so it could be a good complement to the books, or the books could be a good complement to the video, but they don't get in each other's way. And each one can stand alone on itself as well. But I have categories called Easy. I have a category called Basics, B-A-S-S-I-C-S. I have a category called Jazz and Blues, Rock and Metal, Funk R&B, Slapping, Scales and Theory. And when people subscribe to the site, like I said, they get unlimited access to all of those videos. There's a shot of me playing at regular tempo with guitar and drums, and then I slow everything down and I play just the bass and the drums very slowly with close-ups so they can see my fingers on both hands. And then I duck out and have just the guitar and the drums with no bass, and I let the people play along. And I've structured those so they could play either the groove part, which is just, you know, the taking care of business part, and each one also has a solo. So if you want to play the groove or the solo, the backing track is the same. So you can do one or the other. That way the student can work on, like I said, taking care of business, which is, 99% of what we should be doing.
Absolutely.
And for those occasions where we do get to step out into the spotlight, I do have a solo half of each one of the grooves, each one of the lessons in all of the aforementioned categories. So I'm really excited about that. I've also got my 6 books that I sell on that site, and since it was launched, it's really taken off, actually beyond my expectations. So I'm very excited about that, and that's one of the things I've got going on.
There you go. If I may, one of the books, Rock Bass,
yes,
that I had a chance to see, not only does it have how to play in the style of the rock, but there's a lot of important history and information there that is very eye-opening, because if you're going to be playing this, I think it's great to know kind of what was going on at the time. So it's got kind of a historical background that goes just beyond the notes and the tempos and stuff. So I actually found that to be a good read, not only when I've got my bass in my hand, but when I'm sitting down just to read something interesting. So that was kind of neat, the way it's divided up and all that.
So one of my 6 books that my parents can actually read and understand and relive all that. Each book has its own flavor, its own identity, its own character. Rock Bass, I fell in love with when I was writing, and as you said, I took a look, I laid out the landscape, the background in society, in politics, in culture, and what was going on in the world through each of the decades of rock and roll, starting with the 50s, going through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and then how the music responded to what was going on in society. And then I have the selection of grooves in the style of what was happening in the music that occurred as a result of what was happening there. So I'm particularly excited. I'm glad you mentioned Rock Bass, because that came out I think around 1998 originally, and then in 2013 I completely revamped the whole thing, and I extended it beyond the history and the styles. It had only gone through the 90s, so I brought it up to date there with there's a lot that happened in the world since the 90s, as we all know. And the three original endorsers I had were David Ellefson from Megadeth, Tim Bogert from Vanilla Fudge, and Tom Hamilton from Aerosmith. So those endorsements are still there, but for the new one I also got Rudy Sarzo's endorsement, I got Tony Levin, I got Mike Watt from Iggy and the Stooges, and I got John Moyer from Disturbed and Adrenaline Mob, I got Tony Levin, and I got Billy Sheehan to write the foreword. So, and I updated the discography. It's brand new and it's just re-released. So that's hot right now, and I'm particularly excited about that. So thank you for bringing that up.
I'm enjoying it. What can I say? So anything else? I know you've always got interesting things also going, offers and special deals going on. We should keep our eyes out, make sure we're checking back.
There's always a good reason to subscribe to JonLiebman.com. In the past I have had free book giveaways, I've had free string giveaways, something that appeals to, or free DVDs, something that appeals to people that are interested in bass and in bass playing and in bass grooving, and who knows what's going to come up next.
There you go.
Something good.
Absolutely. Well, let's make sure that everybody knows how to find you, and your sites are
forbassplayersonly.com and JonLiebman.com.
Excellent. Well, you've seen it here live at Namm 2014, bassmusicianmagazine.com.